Pregame.com.
And it is the final video here for the weekend. Ken Thomson, Chuck Edel, pregame.tv. Now, here's a classic thing. I'm putting on shirt and tie thinking Chuck's going to wear his pregame polo. All right. Toss the shirt and tie, throw on the pregame polo. I get there and I see
you're half right.
Well, I see you take the button-out shirt and I'm waiting, and you go, "Don't worry, Grinchy, I don't have the tie." So I'm feeling good because normally it's Marco D'Angelo sitting anchor seat here, jacket, shirt, tie. Me, just depending, I'm kind of versatile. And then there's Brian Leonard, either Cleveland Indians shirt, you know, at best a polo, a jacket only when he's cold.
That's a real professional gambler. You know, let's face it. When you go around town here in Las Vegas, I've never seen any professional gambler out here in Vegas with a suit and tie. And maybe you go to Atlantic City, like you say, but we don't. You know, it's the desert here where it's usually 100 degrees. We're not putting on the suit and tie.
The suit and tie are the guys that are having other guys dressed in the polos collecting for them back in Atlantic City. But anyway, it is our final video college basketball. We've hit 3 of them, 1 on Sunday, 2 on Saturday. We've got 1 more Sunday selection for you. It's an afternoon game, 1 o'clock start here Vegas time, 4 o'clock back east where it'll be played in Philadelphia. St. Joe's at home against LaSalle, and always a major rivalry with these two, the Hawks and Explorers. Yeah, they're in the same city. They do not like each other.
No, they're definitely the rival. Philly, some great basketball in Philly over the years, as we know. This is a LaSalle team going to be playing at St. Joe's, who before the season started had 4 guys coming back from that Sweet 16 team last year. A lot was expected of them. For whatever reason, they have not been. They've been just lackluster playing. They have not played well. They have not shown up on a lot of games. They just have not shown up. The games that they have shown up for are when they play the big boys. They played Virginia Commonwealth. They played them. The game went in overtime. They played St. Louis, lost by 2. They beat St. Bonaventure. And then they go and they lay an egg against a Fordham or something. So they've been a tough team. This is a big game. St. Joe earlier in the year went in there and beat them at LaSalle. So LaSalle does not want to get swept by St. Joe. As you said, they don't like each other. Now they're going to go over there. And I think you're going to see a real big effort out of this LaSalle team. We know what they're capable of doing. We talked about it, you know, off the year here, that they could be a long shot for this conference tournament because people are forgetting about them.
And they have the experience. They got a great coach in Giannini. And check out these stats, though, Chuck, from the earlier meeting against St. Joe's, and this on LaSalle's home court. They out-rebounded the Hawks 36-25, had 12 more shots, 63-51. Now, where they lost it, 13 turnovers to just 8 for the Hawks. But on the free throw line, normally the home team's going to get the majority of the free throws. They only had 6 of 9 from the line. St. Joe's 18 of 22. And again, St. Joe's, we know they can knock down the throws. But again, normally you're going to see the home team get to the line a little bit more and have an advantage on that free throw line. This was a distinct, advantage there for St. Joe's. But you've got some great senior leadership. You've got Tyreek Duran, who I love. Garland is an X factor. He plays at 100 miles an hour when the kid's on, and he can knock down a 3 or 2, 1 or 2 threes, and then go inside, outside. He's outstanding, and he was great last year, and he was one of the reasons that they got to the Sweet 16. But he has struggled mightily, under 30% from outside. So they need a big effort from him.
Yeah, no question about it. And the good thing here is we know, people out there saying, well, St. Joe's playing good basketball. They are playing good ball. They're coming off a loss. So what was a big game for them, they lost to George Washington last night.
17-4 in their last 21, St. Joe's.
Yeah, they're playing good ball. But here's the thing. We're going to be catching about 8.5 points here. We're the dog plus about 8.5 in this game with LaSalle. A game that I really do think LaSalle could win this game straight up. But I really like them plus the 8.5.
All right, this is Chuck's place, so let's go ahead. As Marco D'Angelo says, let's make it official.
I'm going to take LaSalle here plus the 8.5 points here against St. Joe. This is a LaSalle team. We know what they're capable of doing. They made it to the Sweet 16 last year. They've not shown up in a lot of games for whatever reason this year. The games they have shown up for are the big games. They've played very tough against some of the key top opponents with VCU, St. Louis, St. Bonaventure. St. Joe already beat LaSalle earlier in the year at LaSalle. They will come with all their guns loaded for this game. We're catching 8.5. I like the spot. I'm going to take LaSalle here.
All right, so there's Chuck's play, and there you're looking for the Explorers to shoot down those Hawks on their home court. And again, St. Joe's, they'll know their fate, whether or not they have an opportunity to get a share of the A-10 title. Right. Because 2 hours earlier, UMass is hosting St. Louis, and we talked about Syracuse dropping 4 out of 5, struggling. Look at St. Louis; they've dropped 3 in a row. And who started that losing streak? Just like Syracuse, Boston College, lowly Boston College. Talking about Duquesne started the losing streak over there for St. Louis. Now they've dropped 3 in a row. They are at UMass, and that game 2 hours prior to this tip-off. So going to be interesting to see if both St. Joe's and VCU still have an outside shot at getting a share of that A-10 title. But I think LaSalle, like you said, comes with all guns drawn. But
you bring up a great point. I like LaSalle plus the 8.5. Now the X factor is if St. Louis, and obviously they have a great chance, goes ahead and they go ahead and beat UMass, this can be a little bit of a letdown situation. Then St. Joe doesn't need the game. They can't win. They cannot win the conference. So maybe a little bit more of a letdown situation. That's just a little bit of a bonus. That's just a bonus there.
There you go, man. Good stuff, man. I'm looking forward to that game. And I think that LaSalle starting to play some good ball. Like you said, even their losses have been competitive, and a lot was taken out of St. Joe's in the loss to George Washington. They led that game for pretty much 30, 35 minutes.
Loss for sure.
Right. So you have that on the road, looking like you're going to keep it rolling. And again, they've played real well. Still 17-4, but that's a tough loss right there, and that took them out of an opportunity to go into a dead-even tie with St. Louis going to that final game and having a chance to control their own destiny. Now they're at the mercy of the Billikens, dropping that game in UMass on Sunday 2 hours prior to their tip-off with LaSalle. So that is it. Chuck says go ahead. Take LaSalle. The Explorers line, according to Power Rankings, should be on Sunday somewhere in the neighborhood of 8 to 8.5 points on the plus side for the Explorers. Go ahead. Take LaSalle on pregame.tv. That's our final video. We'll be back next week. Marco D'Angelo, Brian Leonard, if they're not too hammered over there in the Cactus League and make it back, they'll be there. Otherwise, I'll grab yours truly, and we'll get some videos. Looking forward to a lot more throughout the season. And, of course, Chuck, one of the better baseball handicappers like Marco D'Angelo that I know, so I know he's going to have some great videos as well. Till then, want to thank our producer, Barry Wong, who takes care of stuff for us over here. Appreciate him and Caden all the time. These guys do the hard work. We get the easy part right in front of the camera. Have an awesome weekend, everybody. Hope all your games come up W's. We'll talk to you soon. Ken Thomson, Chuck Edel, pregame.tv.